Okay. Am I recording? All right. All right. So this is the second video for Chapter 9. This will be a bit of a shorter video. We're going to cover basic legal requirements of an insurance contract and then the distinct legal characteristics of an insurance contract. Okay. So again, I'd like you to pause, copy this panel down, and then press play. Okay. All right. So there are four basic legal requirements of an insurance contract. Okay. And the first two panels will cover them. First off, it's a contract of offer and acceptance. So the applicant of the insurance is going to make an offer, though it may not seem like it. They're making an offer to pay for premium. Okay. And they make this offer by submitting an application, answering a bunch of questions, and then they'll either get rejected or they'll get a premium bid thrown back at them. Okay. So they make the offer to purchase some insurance. And then the insurance company either accepts their application and gives them a bid that gets accepted or doesn't. Right. So the applicant makes the offer, the insurance company accepts the risk, exchange for premium, or doesn't. Okay. All right. It's an exchange of considerations, right? So the legal contract is an agreement between the two parties, the insured and the insurer, and it lays out what each party gives and receives. So the insured is going to give premium, and it perhaps engages in certain activities or does not engage in certain activities, warranty, like agrees to cover the roof of the tarp if there's a hole in it, or agrees never to go skiing during the life of the contract. And then the insurer promises to pay for covered losses, provide services like loss prevention help or assistance in recovering from loss, safety services, and importantly, really importantly, legal representation in liability lawsuits. So homeowners, your auto, you have some liability insurance there. So if you get in an accident and perhaps you're at fault, perhaps it's not clear, but you are sued by the other party, your insurance company has agreed to pay for your legal costs and to pay for the damages from those legal costs up to some limit, right? So the insurance company will take over your legal defense because they want to do it because it's their money that's going to get shelled out, and they've got a lot of experience doing it, and they want to have the freedom to settle the suit if they think it's going to be cheaper to settle than to fight it. Okay, so legal representation is part of liability coverages in insurance policies. All right, moving on. All right, so pause, copy. All right, so the last two legal requirements, both parties have to be competent. Okay, so the insurer, or they have to be competent, they have to have legal capacity to enter into the agreement. So the applicant, they must be an adult, they must be sane and sober, and importantly, they have to have an insurable interest, right? I can't insure somebody else's property, right? That would not be legally, I would not have legal standing to enter into that insurance contract. And the insurer, well, they've got a whole bunch of requirements as well. We've talked about admitted carriers. So an admitted carrier has to be licensed to sell in the state, and they have to be licensed for that type of insurance. So like if I'm only licensed to sell homeowners insurance, I'm not allowed to sell an auto policy in the state. Okay. Surplus lines insurers have different requirements they have to follow. Okay. All right. And then the insurance contract has to be for a legal purpose. So the insured item must be a legal item and it must be used for a legal purpose. Okay, so you can't insure illegal items like, I don't know what an illegal item. I can't insure a kilogram of cocaine. All right, it's not a legal item for me to possess. Similarly, I can't insure something that's legal if I try to use it for an illegal purpose. So if I have homeowners insurance and I decide to start cooking up meth in my basement, my house catches a fire and burns down, my homeowner's policy will not cover that loss because it occurred due to using my property illegally. Okay. Fun fact, I once had my car stolen in Indiana. Beautiful 96 Subaru Legacy station wagon. Parked it at the school I was teaching at the time in the morning, come out later in the day, it's gone. I'm like, well, maybe I just parked, forgot where I parked it, looked around, nope, it's gone, can't figure it out. I'm like, oh crap. So I wander home to call the police because this is before the days of cell phones, hard to imagine. So I wander home, call the police, and they meet me back at campus. And in the hour it takes them, my car is back, parked in a completely different spot where it's not parked before. And the police, don't take a report or anything. Turns out, though, right about the same time, a larger vehicle gets stolen from campus. And 3 months later, they find that larger vehicle wrapped around a telephone pole, burnt to cinders because it became a mobile meth lab. So what had happened, turned out, is that the meth cookers stole my car, deemed it not worthy, but then very kindly returned the car and left the keys, which, that's quite polite of them, and then stole a better car to make a mobile meth lab out of, okay? So the person whose car was stolen, they got to make a claim because their car was stolen. They weren't engaging in an illegal activity, okay? All right, fun fact. All right, moving on. Okay, so pause, copy, play. And again, I'm going to look at these notes to make sure they're all there. That's how I'm going to grade that you are a good student. So these are sort of the distinct legal characteristics of an insurance contract. So many of the things we talked about before would be true of many different types of legal contracts, but these are sort of distinct legal characteristics for insurance contracts. First off, it's aleatory, and that means it's not an exchange of like value. Most contracts are like, I will pay you $6,000 and you'll provide me this service of bookkeeping for 3 months. And we agree that $6,000 and 3 months of bookkeeping have the same value, okay? So it's an exchange of equal value. That's not what an insurance contract is. The values exchanged may not be equal, but they depend entirely on uncertain events. So it could be you pay your premium, $6,000 for the year or whatever, and get zero back from the insurance company because nothing bad happened. Or you pay your premium, $6,000, and you get $38,000 back from the insurance company because an uncertain event like a hailstorm occurred and you had to get your roof replaced, okay? So it's an aleatory contract. Exchange like value, who knows? We won't know till the end of the contract period, and it probably won't be equal value exchange at the end, okay? One party will have paid more than the other party. It's just what we agreed to. All right, it's a unilateral contract. Only one party is legally obligated to do something, and that's the insurance company. If you pay your premiums, the insurance company is legally obligated to pay for covered claims, okay? However, you are not legally obligated to pay your premiums. If you fail to pay a premium, the insurance company cannot come after you for that money. They can cancel your contract and not pay a claim if you have a loss, but they can't make you pay your premiums. They can't make you do the actions of the warranty, don't go skiing, or cover your roof. They can't make you do that, but they can not pay the claim if you don't, right? But only one party has a legally enforceable duty. If you pay your premiums and the insurance company doesn't pay off a valid claim, you may take them to court and you will win, okay? Right, it's a conditional contract. The contract's going to state, or it's going to qualify and limit the insurer's promise to perform based on how the insured behaves. No premium paid, no claims paid. Warranty violated, no claims paid. So if Messi goes skiing, his leg contract could be canceled, right? Because the insurance company's like, look, we told him not to go skiing, he went skiing. He's engaging in risky behavior when he said he wouldn't. We don't trust this party in the contract any longer. All right, last panel. So pause. All right, so number 4, insurance in the United States is a personal contract. It's between the insurance company and the individual, the insured. It's not between the insurance company and the asset or property that's being insured, okay? So this means when I sell a vehicle, the new buyer of the vehicle doesn't have insurance on it. My insurance that I had on my vehicle ends the moment I sell it. And the new purchaser has to put a new insurance policy on that vehicle, okay? Just like when you sell your house, the new buyer has to get insurance on that house. The contract does not follow the asset, right? The contract is linked to the individual who owns the asset, right? If you do happen to, like, let's say your family's with Travelers for auto insurance, and if you happen to, and you're one of the drivers listed, if you happen to buy a vehicle, you've got 2 or 3 days to inform Travelers of the new vehicle, and it's covered during that time span. So if you buy a new vehicle, forget to phone your insurance company, but you already have a contract with your insurance company. If you forget to phone them for 3 days and you have an accident on the second day, that loss is covered. And they just say, okay, we're going to take the coverages you have on your other vehicles and assume that's the same coverage you have on this new vehicle. I mean, they'll charge you additional premium now because you've got a new vehicle to put on there, but you have a limited amount of time to inform the insurance company and you get retroactive coverage. Okay. Sidebar. All right. It's a contract of adhesion, and this is kind of a curious one. The insured, the person looking to get the insurance, has to accept all of the conditions of the contract or walk away from the deal. Okay. Now, so you and me, when we go get auto, homeowner, renter, we can't negotiate with the insurance company. They present us the contract, we take it or leave it. Okay. More complicated forms of insurance with corporations and companies, there's a series of negotiations that take place. But once the contract is written by the insurance company, then the client has to accept it or not. Okay. Now, that client does have some influence on how the things are worded in the contract, but ultimately the insurance company writes the contract, the applicant accepts it or rejects it. Okay. All right. So that's kind of one-sided, but any ambiguity in the conditions or languages of the contract, if a claim comes up and there's a dispute between the insured and the insurance company about what some language means because it's ambiguous or uncertain, the courts tend, like almost always, to side in the insured's favor. So they tell the insurance company, look, that language was ambiguous. You wrote the contract, so it's your fault. You should pay the claim and make that language more clear in the future. Okay. So court cases, uncertainty gets ruled in the favor of the insured and against the insurance company because the insurance company wrote the contract. They've got the legal team with all the knowledge in the world about how to write clear language, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. All right. So I think that's good for me for chapter 9. And make sure your notes are in good working order, bring them to class, and I will check them over when we return from spring break.